Do you think Starbucks failed in Australia because they taste like crap? Well, think again. Cause after going to Starbucks in every single nation that I have visited, there is something totally different about the Starbucks in Australia that literally doomed it before it even began. And I want to find out what exactly caused the rise and fall of the biggest coffee chain in the world in Australia. Just think about it for a second, bro. A lot of the massive coffee franchises are doing pretty well in Australia, right? Like McCafé, the coffee house, Gloria Jeans. Man, I thought they were selling jeans when I first heard the name. But I mean, something has to be causing Starbucks to be having a rough time, The first reason I want to bring up is that Aussies appear to love the independent cafes over the massive international chain. People hate big corporations in Australia. Ever since I heard about some massive local brand, I'm not saying any names, possibly donating money to extremists, underpaying the staff, I began to find out that Aussies don't seem to fantasize about being loyal to a specific brand. Ooh, I go there every day. I buy whatever they sell, as much as we do in America. But instead, there's a love for independent, locally owned cafe and restaurants deeply rooted in the Aussie culture. I used to always go straight to the most notable names, but after several trips to Australia, now I go straight to local mom and pop store and cafe. So I guess you guys either changed me for the better, or you completely ruined my life. I don't know. Next up is the second reason that I suspected why Starbucks is being completely rejected by the Aussies, and that is they never adapt to local taste. When Aussies talk about coffee, and when Americans talk about coffee, bro, I guarantee they have totally different stuff in mind. In America, y'all put all the sugar and cream, oh, don't forget the chemical flavors, man, until a single cup of coffee literally becomes a calorie bomb. But the Aussies don't work that way. The massive influence from Italian and Greek culture, as well as Turkish and Lebanese, really set the bar insanely high for any cup of anything to be remotely considered good. So if for American cafe, y'all don't train your baristas, and God forbid the coffee only tastes like sugar and nothing else, then there ain't no way the local Aussies are gonna pay for it. Also, I've realized that a lot of the so-called American coffee is so modified and adjusted to the point that it almost doesn't taste like coffee anymore, and it's rather a bit like drinking a cup of milkshake. Can y'all still call that thing a cup of coffee? But so far, I feel like we're putting the blame on Starbucks, but now I want to look at the other aspect, and that is the coffee at the Aussie Maccas is frankly far better than it has any right to be, as McCafé was basically invented by Aussies in the lovely city of Melbourne. After a mate running the local Maccas saw the customers coming in every morning for the breakfast, but they already got a cup of coffee in hand. Also, he thought to himself, well, why can't we sell it to them? And the Aussie Maccas really trained the baristas and put them into every single store, to the point that my Aussie mates would literally go straight to McCafé whenever they're traveling abroad but really want an Aussie coffee, as most of the McCafé y'all see are presumably still using the Aussie recipe from so many decades ago. So if the coffee and Maccas cost about the same or a bit less than going to Starbucks, but the taste is way more authentic by the Aussie standard, then why would anyone not go there instead? It's kind of weird to me that no Americans will admit that the coffee in McDonald's was originally an Aussie invention, even after y'all explain all of this to them, because everything good and profitable has to be made in America, right? But let's not get carried away. We're not roasting Americans today. But what if the so-called financial collapse of Starbucks actually doesn't have much to do with the Aussie food culture, but it's possibly due to some internal issue that we don't even know about? Let's be fair. In so many places outside of Australia, like Italy, France, Spain, and Vietnam, American coffee brands can still survive there, right? Just like I mentioned, McCafé is doing pretty well. And other fast food brands also sell their own coffee. They don't seem to be doing badly. So why is it that only Starbucks seem to be struggling? Plus, it's no surprise that American businesses have a history of, being too aggressive when it comes to expanding themselves into Australia. And when there are already a bunch of cafes on almost every single corner of the city, call me skeptical, but I can't see how they can possibly not fail. But the biggest reason why they're never welcome in Australia is actually the one that I've never seen anyone talking about. And that is they only open in tourist places with nothing but, you guessed it, international tourists to begin with. I simply can't imagine any local Aussies would specifically go there, wait forever just to get a drink. I mean, seriously, what y'all anticipate your company to grow when y'all only rely on that tourist money? And not even taking into account how so many of those places, like the entrance of a massive shopping center in the middle of the CBD, this and that, it's so crazy expensive to rent. So you're basically dooming yourself before it even begins, bro. Like, Macca's can be anywhere. It can be in the suburbs. It can be in the bush. That's why they make a profit. If Starbucks in Australia has been doing the same, I highly assume they would still be around these days. As of right now in 2026, there's still about 80-something of them opening all over Australia, which is a massive increase compared to a decade ago, when I remember the number was only like 20-something. So I guess they're here to stay whether any of us like it or not. But now that we talk about why American coffee is hated, how about I show you why some American tourists and their president is also hated? Because in the next video, I'm checking out the most horrendous things they say about Australia. But there's no way you'll want to click on it to find out.